Recording in progress.
Oh yeah, we got him. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey shot with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called the Barbershop.
Yo, what up? What up, folks? Welcome to another edition of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Special shout out to everybody tuning in. You can watch us now live on our YouTube channel, also on our Facebook page, Facebook Live. You can tune in on our Twitter handle at Barbershop SPOR2 and our Twitch channel as well. I'm Trey Frazier, and that's the brother over there, Maestro Styles.
Yes, sir.
What's good? How we feeling, man?
Coolin', man. Quick music note, man.
What's up?
Quick music note. I am not a let's say a cat. I'm a singles listener to Doja Cat. Mm-hmm. But with all the I guess media attention, I was like, well, let me see what's going on here. Man, she all right with me, man. Shorty all right with me. She all right with me.
I forgot the name of the song she came out with a video
The Attention,
for.
The Attention.
Was it The Attention? Okay.
Yeah. But it's some other shit on there she got right in my but like musically she got right like along the end of that, like the second half of the album. Mm-hmm. She started getting right in my bag, and I gotta give her shit. Yeah, I like this album.
I like Doja when she in her bag, like when she in her rap bag. I like that Doja Cat. Like, I mean, I
like the little single stuff. Like, I like it for what it is. But when you start getting on some hip hop shit, like not just like boom bap. Like she you could tell she made a little emphasis to put some. And again, this is me not listening to none of her other stuff.
Yep.
You could tell she kind of made an effort to get a little boom bappy on them a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that song like gives me the vibe that she need to go reach out to Kendrick, and her and Kendrick need to do something on a collabo or something. Like, I love when she rap, when she in that bag. Like, that's the Doja Cat I like.
I'm seeing a lot of that comparison on this album too. Like she definitely got into some Kendrick type energy.
Yeah. Hey,
but it's a good album though.
Make it happen.
It's a good album. It's a good album.
Doja Cat, make it happen. Shout out to her.
And I guess but it's not in I guess national news, but I've been seeing it all over my timeline. Mm-hmm. I need to say rest in peace to Blake Bozeman, who was a former player at Morgan State, but he was killed outside of a club on 8th Street. Mm-hmm. I don't pretend to have known a lot about him, but I just know that when my timeline, my community of people speak about somebody, it's important that I, shine a light on it.
Facts.
But he was killed out on 8th Street, along with 3 other people who they didn't die. The other 3 people, but that happened. If you don't know about Blake Bozeman, he's a player. Like I said, used to play for Morgan State, and his father is also was a coach at Morgan State at one time, the most winningest coach at Morgan State. But definitely rest in peace to Blake Bozeman, and condolences to the family, everybody involved.
Yeah, and just like you, whenever you see that in the community, I'm right in the Baltimore area, so I hear a lot of things about Morgan and the happenings and stuff, and I did hear about that tragic, incident. So, condolences to his family, and rest in peace. Such a sad story, man. Just trying to have fun.
Hey, man. So I got a question, man.
What's up?
Would you rather have $15 million in a championship, or would you rather have $100 million and no rings?
You said $50 million in a ring?
$50 million in a ring, NBA, basketball, whatever, football, whatever, $50 million in a ring as an athlete,
right?
Or would you rather just have the $100 million?
Would I rather have the 100 mil? Well, look, if it's about the rings, then yeah, I want the rings.
I'm just asking you. What would you rather have?
Yeah, I'd rather have the. If I was an athlete, I would rather have the 50 million in the ring.
Okay.
Because you get, you're gonna get talked about more. That hardware matters.
Well, it depends on what kind of athlete you were. If you were, okay, so I maybe have you seen the clip?
I didn't see the clip.
Steven Jackson. So basically, Steven Jackson got on, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically called people who put the money over the rings losers. Not losers like as losers in life, but like y'all niggas don't want to win. Y'all rather get money than
right. Y'all care more about the money than y'all care about
right. And for me, I was sitting there thinking like, well, look, man. Me, and maybe I'm coming from the perspective of A, I'm not an athlete, and B, look, I'm trying to get to this paper. like, you know what I'm saying?
It's all about perspective, right?
Yeah, right. But I'm good either way. But if you pull up my arm to make a choice, I'm going to say give me the 100 mil, bro. And again, I guess but I can understand an athlete's perspective, like you play the game and all those things. But what if you're not LeBron? What if you're not Steph Curry? What if you're not like
if you Robert Horry? Like if you Robert Horry.
Right. I'm not going I didn't want to say Robert Horry because he got rings and I get point wise he wasn't a big contributor, but
right, and he's not in the Hall of Fame.
But moment-wise, he was a contributor. I'm talking about the guys like, I hate to say names, but who's somebody that don't got a ring that's not popular? And anybody, like fucking anybody
that don't got a ring that's not popular.
Yeah, we don't have to make names. We don't have to make names about it. We talking about the guys that are. 13 on the depth chart.
Like a Gerald Wallace.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I've made it my point to not say names. But Gerald,
you did.
I didn't say Gerald Wallace.
No. I'm saying you made it a point to not say names.
Because I ain't trying to shade nobody, and I ain't trying to shade nobody. I'm just more so saying, like maybe capitalizing on all the money you can capitalize means more to you because look, man, you ain't you. What does the ring really mean? It is an experience. I could gather that.
It is. That it is. Yeah.
Hey, $100 million, $50 million extra dollars. I can make some experiences of my own.
I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad either way. Like,
but I'm neither am I. But I'm not. Yeah. But I'm not an athlete, and maybe and I can't pretend to put myself in the athlete's shoes enough to say, me missing $50 million. I want the 50 mil. Sorry.
Yeah.
Give me
the I hear you. I hear you on that. But I don't think there's any right or wrong with that question.
Neither do I. But I mean, he seemed very adamant about loser mentality. And again, I could get it from his perspective. Yep. He's an athlete. He want to win, all those types of things.
Yeah. He won a ring, right? He won a ring with the Spurs, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I want to say yes.
So I get it.
Yes.
So I get it. I get it. Yeah.
I mean, because what is he saying? Well, he ain't saying nothing about Matt Barnes, but yeah, man. All I'm saying is, he said something to the effect of, y'all made money, but y'all wasn't the best at nothing. And see,
come on, why go there? Like,
and let's be clear, Steven Jackson. It was a baller. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
he was nice. He was dead nice. You wasn't like you was attached to something that was the best. And I guess in some respect
he was on that Believe team, right? That Warrior Believe team, right? In 07, right? When they upset upset the Mavericks in the first round.
But he ain't win that year, so I ain't counting that year.
No, he didn't. Yeah. But when you think of him, I think the first few things you think about is that team. And then you also
Spurs. I think about him with the Spurs first.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. But there was something special about that Golden State team as well, for certain. But yeah, I can understand from his perspective how adamant he is about it. But when you say you ain't like good at nothing, and you all you care about is
he said y'all wasn't the. He said y'all. The quote was, y'all made y'all money, but y'all wasn't the best at nothing. I mean, I might have been the best at making money, my nigga.
I was gonna say. I mean, I was the best at managing the money that I made, and I managed it well. Cause some niggas, they make the money and they blow it.
And then I sit here and think about it. Well, I think about like Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley. I mean, are we really gonna say Charles Barkley wasn't the best when he was out, when he was in his prime?
Dude was a dog
because he ain't got no rings. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
Allen
Iverson, Patrick Ewing. You know what I mean? Reggie Miller. Like
I don't know. And respectfully, all these people we're naming have had better careers than Steven Jackson. But I mean, are you better because you got the ring? I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, and for him to stand tall on it, like I don't know. I felt like I don't know. I felt like that was a lot.
Yeah. That's crazy. Hey, just kind of back to the music part for a second. I hate to bring the energy down a little bit, but I did see this on the timeline over the weekend. Crazy Bone was in the hospital and on life support. Last time I checked, I didn't get any updates since then, but I just wanted to send some prayers to him and prayers to Bone Thugs and Harmony, prayers to his family and all that. And, hope everything goes all right there, man.
I even seen Juicy J, but I mean, I know people joke about.
Come on, don't do that.
Well, because the truth is that they really get along. Like I think I won't assume about who got an issue with who, but I think the overall consensus is it's one person not getting along with another person as opposed to Bone Thug versus 3 6 Mafia type thing. But Juicy J definitely was one of the people I saw, posting for well wishes. Yeah. And I will do the same. Get well soon. Legend.
Absolutely.
Legend.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you've heard any of his recent music, but he's still rapping his ass off.
That's what's up. I haven't, by the way, but now that you said that, I might have to check out his recent stuff.
Yeah, hey man, if you like the Crazy Bone in the 90s, you still like Crazy Bone in 2023.
That's what's up. So, NFL. So, where you want to start? You want to start with the division?
NFL? Do you want to start? Do you want to start NFL? I'm just asking.
I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask the question within the question. Do you want to go to the biggest story of the weekend in the NFL, or do you want to go right to where I know you would want me to go?
Pause.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Look, man, it's on my mind, man. Colorado got their ass whooped, bruh. They got that ass whooped. That's what was on my mind. They got that ass whooped,
man.
And look, I'm still riding. Don't get it twisted. I'm still riding. I might hold off on the hoodie right this second. Right. But I'm still riding.
Hold off on the hoodie.
I might hold off for a second. You know what I'm saying? Like if they'd have beat Oregon and then beat USC, I might have had to, put some expenses on the side to go get the hoodie. But I mean, in that ass whipping, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna hold on for a second.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front though. I was surprised. Not surprised that they lost the game, but surprised that they got handled. Like they got handled. Yeah.
And for everybody, look. Me, I speak for me, Maestro. I am a bandwagon college football watcher, meaning I only watch Colorado. And if somebody says, "Ooh, this is about to be a good game," I may or may not watch it. But to the people that are saying Travis Hunter would have saved this ass whooping,
no.
Travis Hunter, y'all, listen here, y'all. I get it. Travis Hunter is an amazing talent.
No,
he was not saving this ass whooping. This ass whooping was coming.
I think Travis Hunter was gonna give him 14 more points. I'll keep it real with you right now. I think Travis Hunter was good for 14.
So it would have been
42-20.
42-20 in your
42-20.
Okay, which people wouldn't have people wouldn't have been as mad at 42-20 than than at 42.
Or even if it's 35-20. I'll take a touchdown from Oregon because you score like that, then sometimes the flow of the game changes a little bit. So maybe if it was 35-20, then I could see something like that. But Travis Hunter was not going to save them from a 40-something point beatdown. I'm sorry.
It was still going to be an ass whipping, maybe a more competitive ass whipping, but it was still going to be maybe less of a thorough ass whipping, but it was still going to be an ass whipping. Cut the nonsense out. I get it. We're fans and we want to support Deion. But that ass whipping was happening one way or the other. How did you feel about the Oregon coaches' locker room pregame speech that was leaked in the middle of not leaked, but shown in the middle of the game?
That wasn't pregame. That was a halftime joint.
Oh, it was halftime. Okay.
Yeah, that was a halftime joint. It was. That was the halftime joint.
I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, I thought that was a halftime speech. They let the network's cameras in that locker room,
happened?
Yeah, they let the network's cameras in the locker room, like ESPN. ESPN got that footage, right?
Okay.
Because, and not that I watch a lot of college football, but I don't know a lot of, games where the coaches are like, yo, bring them cameras in here. Like, I don't know a lot of games like that, right? So this was calculated. So, look, you Oregon, you the coach, you got the better team, better roster. You can say whatever the hell you want. I didn't have a problem with it.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I have a problem with it.
I mean, not at all. Even if it ain't true.
Yeah.
Even if Deion, it seemed like they asked Deion about it, and Deion was kind of like, well, I wouldn't do that. Like.
Yeah. Right. Right.
As if people were questioning that he's not really serious about him being successful as a football coach.
Right. Right.
Hey, I didn't like it at first, but then I thought about it. If I was in that dude's situation,
I'd have done the
been on the
same
same
thing.
shit.
Yeah.
These pretty ass niggas.
The only thing I'll when he said they worrying about clicks. I'm paraphrasing. They worrying about clicks. We worrying about wins. Well, coach,
I like it.
I love it. But coach, you worrying about clicks too. You worrying about wins, but you worrying about clicks because you bought them cameras. You bought them cameras in that locker room for a reason.
Okay, if that's what happened, then yes, I can see your point.
Yeah.
But I look, Oregon been Oregon. I don't know how long dude been the coach, but Oregon been Oregon for years. Been a winning team.
Yeah,
for
facts.
years. Yeah,
facts.
so and it's not like they've been Oregon for years. You know what I'm saying? They've been exactly who they've been for years. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they needed them cameras. It's not like he's trying to recreate what Deion's doing in fucking Colorado. Because Oregon is already a high-level organization. They're already winning. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even agree with that.
Yeah, right.
I like that even if he was embellishing to get his players hype.
Right.
I'm with it. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. We've been reined in all weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
So I woke up Saturday and was like, you know what? I'm gonna start and finish my lo-fi beat tape, and I'm gonna kind of take motivation through the day and kind of sprinkle it in the beat tape. If you think for a second that you ain't about to hear that white boy talking that shit on my beat tape on my lo-fi tape, you're wrong. It's on there. It's on there.
Can't wait to hear it.
It's definitely on there. Like I was trying to finish. I was trying to finish it.
Yeah.
Before I got on today, man, it's on there. Because it's a good sound bite.
Right.
Hey man, and they beat Colorado ass. And accountability, right?
Yep.
Accountability. So when other teams came and was talking shit and stepping on their logo and all that, Deion responded how he responded based on what they did.
Yep.
Now there was footage of a player from Colorado stepping on Oregon's logo, rubbing his rubbing his feet on the logo.
Yeah.
Before the game.
I also saw footage of a Colorado player after the game walking through the tunnel, dapped up a fan, and then I guess it was an Oregon fan that was snatched his scarf or whatever and just tossed it. And I was like, oh, man, okay, okay.
So, I mean, look. So, you know, I ain't going to – look, accountability. You got to be able to take the ass whooping that come with talking shit, just like y'all was handing out ass whoopings for talking shit. You got to be able to take it.
Got to be able to do it.
It's levels to this shit, man. Deion not gonna do this shit in 1 year.
Nope.
It's levels to this shit. So I think we got a pretty good gauge of where they at.
He's exceeded expectations at this point already.
Unless he just starts going on a losing spree. I agree with you 100%. But let's be clear.
Well, if he goes on a losing spree, then yeah, the media's they're gonna pump that up for certain. But to me, I'm going to look at the season overall and say, well, he exceeded expectations with this team. This team won one game last year. He got them 3, 4, 5 wins throughout the season.
No, that's an assumption. I said if they lose every other game, that would be what 3 and what? Or they won 3 games this year?
They won 3 games so far.
3 games this year. So that would be I mean, look.
But even still, they still exceeded the expectations.
I mean, but come on, bro. That's.
I get that. I get that's not going to be the media narrative when the season ends. Yeah. But I'm still gonna sit back, and when the dust settles, hey, Deion did a really good job.
Be clear. Yeah. So let's be clear. I just want to be clear. I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
They went from being in Shador's and Heisman conversation. They were ranked. They're no longer ranked right now. You're saying that if they lose out, and this is hypothetical, and I don't wish this on Colorado.
Right.
They lose out, you're still looking back at this season and saying, good job?
When the dust settles, yeah. Now, again,
when the dust settles?
Again, when the season ends, and if they do lose every game, which I hope they don't do,
and I'm sure they won't, by the way.
The media is going to point to they finished bad. The Heisman race was over with Shador and whoever else is going to be. Everything is going to be negative about the season for Colorado if they do lose out. Like, I get that part of it, But at the end of the day, when you look at the amount of people talking about, black people coming to Colorado now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're doing this again. You did this last week.
What am I doing?
You're conflating issues. I'm talking about football. I ain't talking about culture. I ain't talking about
they've exceeded expectations.
They've exceeded expectations culturally. If they go
I'm not even talking culturally. I'm saying
you're not about to
football.
Tell me.
I'm saying football. They've exceeded expectations. And I just said it. I just said it 3 minutes ago. They've exceeded expectations already up to this point. Now, if they lose out, it's not a good look. It's going to be negative things said about this team. Shador is obviously not going to be a Heisman candidate anymore. There's going to be questions about, what Deion's going to do with the team recruiting-wise. But it's still a season where they exceeded expectations. I'll say it this way. I won't say that it's a good season. I'll just say they exceeded expectations from what that team was 1 year ago.
Yeah, I disagree because if they go 3 and whatever.
You disagree with what?
If they go 3 and whatever, that's not exceeding expectations. We only expected them to win.
Yeah, but you can't say if you're saying right now they exceeded expectations and then they lose out. Like, you can't just rip that Band-Aid back off of them.
Yes, the hell you can. Because you can. Come on, bro. It's fluent. We know that it's fluent because the story hasn't been told until the end of the year.
Yeah, I get that.
Right now, they're exceeding expectations, but they can lose out, and then expectations hasn't been met because they didn't win any more games.
Well, then that means the expectations have changed. Then that's what you're telling me now. It sounds like after 4 weeks of play, we've watched this team play 4 weeks. It sounds like the expectations went from here to here now. Now, if you're telling me the expectations have changed, then I agree with you. But if you're saying the expectations stay the same from the start of the year to the end of the year, then I still got to say, hey, they still exceeded it. Unless you're telling me it's changed in the middle of the year.
So you're saying that preseason, going into the season, we only expected Colorado to win 3 games?
No, we expect the Colorado to win more than 1 game.
Okay.
I don't know what the win total projection was. We just know they won 1 game last year.
Okay, but me and you, no, I won't even speak to you. I'll speak to me because I don't know what you didn't have any expectations for Colorado coming into the season.
I expected them to be a good football team.
What is a good football team by a win total?
By a win total? I mean, because God, you don't even make a bowl game if you win 5. If you get 5 wins, right? I guess 6. I guess if you average, that's 6 wins, right?
So if they don't win, so a good team, in your opinion, a good team is winning a bowl game, is making a bowl game.
But I don't think with 6 wins you're making a bowl game.
Okay. In your opinion, is being a good team making a bowl game?
So really, a good season, yeah. In my opinion, yeah, it is.
Okay. They're not going to make a bowl game with 3 wins.
Right. So which means they're not a good team. They ended up not being a good team.
So you just said to me your expectations was they were going to be a good team. They would then not be a good team.
But a good team could still be 6 wins. And even with 6 wins, you can't.
Where?
Let me finish.
Okay.
Even with 6 wins, your chances are you're not going to make a bowl game. And my criteria for bowl games is if you make a bowl game, okay, you had a good season. Because let's face it, only 4 teams make the college football playoff?
Yep.
And, there's teams that, get 8, 9 wins that don't even sniff, the top 4. So obviously those teams get the bowl games.
Yeah, we could eliminate that, but that's not happening for Colorado.
Sure, that's not happening for them. So 6 wins, that's an average. That's an average. I'd say an average to good season for them.
Okay. So if they don't win 6 games, then they were not a good team. Yes.
They're not a good team, but does that mean it's a failure of a season?
If by your standards, that's why I set you up that way. Your expectations was that Colorado was going to be a good team. That was your preseason expectations. If they win 3 games, they have not exceeded your expectations because your expectation was them to win 6 at least.
Okay, but now
but
they've already won 3.
No. But the scenario was if they lose out, and we don't believe they're going to lose out. I'm just saying if they lose out,
right,
then they wouldn't. If they wouldn't meet your expectations of being a good team.
Right. But you and I agree that at this point through 4 games they've exceeded expectations.
As of right now, but that is a fluent. My point was that is a fluent conversation until the season ends.
So with that being said, with that being said, it sounds to me like the expectations from preseason projections or what have you till 4 weeks into the season, it sounds like the expectations have changed.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't because as of right now, they've won 75% of their games.
Okay.
That's exceeding expectations because if and I'm just talking about your threshold.
Yeah.
My threshold is I got way higher expectations than 6 games of Colorado. But
what was your expectations?
They would be over a 500 team. They would
like 7 and 5.
Again, wrong person to ask. I'm not a college. I don't even know how many games they have this year. So wrong nigga to ask.
12 or 13. That's all
you know I don't watch college football like that. So
I don't watch it like that either, but I know it's 12, 13 games in a season.
You're a better fan than I am, guy. I'm just saying that they're exceeding expectations right now, but that could very easily be changed based on how they perform, based on what we
right. But that was my point. You just said it.
You cut me off. because it's not real right now. It's only right now. We didn't change our expectations of it right now. They're exceeding expectations as of right now. If they were 1-4, they would not be exceeding expectations. If they were 2-4, we would be like, oh, they kind of, where they are.
Okay.
We just not saying nothing. The fact that they won their first 3 games, specifically against a TCU who was in the championship, and
Nebraska.
I don't know how y'all rate Nebraska. I don't know how they rate Nebraska.
Nah.
They don't. Right,
Nah,
exactly.
nah.
So I don't know.
Right.
So now when you really look at it, they've only beat one quality team. Is what it sounds like.
Right.
So maybe we jumping the gun. What have they done this year?
At this point, nothing yet. I guess
So
I guess like I said, and maybe I'm just looking at the win total from last year. Maybe I'm looking at how bad they were last year, and I guess if you win one game, where else you have to go? You can go nowhere but up unless you just don't win a game.
Yeah, that sounds
every
pandery.
year.
But again, that sounds pandery if your expectations of Deion in Colorado was to make a bowl game. You know what I'm saying?
No, not to make a bowl game. Just be a good team, and that could be you have a 500 record. Like I said, 500 records. I don't think you make a bowl game.
Okay, well I think. Oh, okay, I got you because I just got the whole 12-13 game thing. 500, I'm with that. I'm with you there. They've exceeded expectations if they go 500, but that has yet to be told yet. But if we're talking about 12 games, they've played a quarter of them,
right?
And they've won 75% of them. So that is, as of right now, exceeding expectations. But that can change. That their projection can change if they lose out.
Right.
My expectations are still my expectations, but right now. They're doing really good at meeting my expectation. Okay. So that's where we at with it. But based on last week, we can pretty much. I hate to be that guy. This is Heisman Trophy conversation, and let's be clear. I didn't realize because I'm not a college football person. Yeah. I remember Bo Nix playing for Auburn, but I didn't know he went to Oregon.
Right.
And all that. He is also in the Heisman conversation. So he lost to Bo Nix, and I hate to be the guy. I hope I'm wrong. I'm riding with Colorado. They got a tough ass test playing number 6 USC and Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
let's be clear about it.
So my hope for that is they play better, right? I still think they're gonna lose.
Is not playing.
Right. But I still think Colorado's gonna lose. I just hope that it's a competitive game. And I hope both these quarterbacks ball the hell out. Four quarters. Like
so
I hope this game is not over.
You know what's crazy is I'm going to miss that game.
What time is that game?
Like 12 noon.
Oh, noon. Okay.
I think it's 12. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what I saw earlier.
Yeah, I'm definitely missing the beginning. My son and my daughter's got soccer games Saturday, so
I gotta work Saturday afternoon.
Unless they get rained out like it did this past weekend, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I left this game with it's levels to this shit, man. It's just levels to this shit, and again. I believe that Deion can get up there with the other, with the top teams in college football. I do believe that.
Yep.
But he's not going to do it in 1 year.
Nope.
I'm riding with him. I think we both agree that 6-6, 500, whatever that looks like, 500 record is expectation.
Yeah.
And that as of right now, he's on a good path of making that mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the hype, I think we can cool it on the hype. I think we can cool it on the hype.
Right.
Now we can just get to him building an organization and playing football.
Yeah, and I hope I hope he gets the time to build that organization.
I'm sure he will. I'm not sure, but I'm confident he will.
I hope so. Because the back of my mind, black coach, you know how these things are, especially in college football. Some programs, they give the white coaches plenty of time to build the program, and then other programs, you hire a black coach, they got to win right now, or they got to win in 2 years,
Yeah, but I don't know that, and I don't know, but it would seem like Deion got the reins to take his time.
I hope
the turnover that he made just in the summer.
Yep.
You got.
I hope he. Yeah. So this coming off season, I hope that they give him that time to do what he got to do.
Well, let's be clear. What he did this summer, he about to do the same shit next summer.
And then more, yeah.
Yeah, but that transfer portal and all that shit they be doing, that shit's about to be going crazy because that defense ain't up to par. Period.
Oh nah. He needs some. Yeah. He needs some bigger dudes.
That O-line ain't up to par.
Yeah.
The O-line ain't up to par. Period.
Yeah. He needs some more dogs on there. But hey, 70 points.
Hold on.
What's up?
We gotta go back to college football real quick because I'm not leaving it, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. Shout out to the Maryland Terps.
Loxley, thank you, because I was gonna say something I forgot, but yeah.
Smoking on that Michigan State pack over the weekend.
4-0.
4-0. Yeah. Look, because I'm a fake college fan, so now I gotta start paying attention to my Terps. Cause we doing some things.
Terps is doing the thing. They doing the thing.
Shout out to the Terps. Hey, I'm here. I'm here now.
4-0.
I'm here now.
You here now? Come on.
I'm here now. You hear me? I'm here now. hey. And we gotta have this debate on air.
What's up?
What was the point of Colorado scoring?
So, for the record, I did not see when they scored that touchdown, if it was a touchdown. But when I tweeted that out, that hey, I'm waiting for this team to show up. It was halftime. When I tweeted that.
What was the halftime score? I don't remember.
35 nothing.
The game was over.
But come on, bro. Look, come on, bro. If a team could score 35 points in a half, I mean, who says the other team can't do the same thing?
It was very clear. Let's be clear about this, Trey.
They're not benching guys at halftime, bro.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Let's be clear. It was set very early about who was the bigger, the more not even prepared, because I don't want to focus on preparation, because if it was just preparation, then Dion could have schemed and then maybe came back and all these things that you're trying to allude to. They were outclassed because the athletes were on Oregon's side.
Yeah, I get it.
So they were out. So it was like
I get it.
It was like and I get they're both Division I's, but it was like the top tier schools playing the not so top tier schools.
I get it.
So it was nothing. It was nothing scheme wise that they could have done to beat Oregon, let alone come back to Oregon. They were outclassed, and in that point, them scoring that touchdown, which was a garbage. Let's be clear, it was a garbage time score. It was a garbage time score.
Yeah,
they were not coming back.
Yeah, and I didn't say that to say, hey, start the comeback. Again, I tweeted that at halftime, and right. And then a half, and then a half, anything can happen in a half. Like like I said, I don't watch a lot of college football.
35-0. I hear you.
Like I said, I don't watch a lot of college football, but these scores in college football, they get crazy. You see 62 points sometimes. You see 70 points. You see 50-something points. A lot more in college football than you do in the pros, until we just saw the Dolphins do it on Sunday.
Yeah, but let's be clear. Let's be clear. The only team that was going to score 50 and up that game was Oregon.
Sure.
Let's be clear. There was no way. There was nothing. And I'm not talking about scheme. I'm talking about bigger players playing smaller players.
Sure.
There was nothing that was going to happen.
And we knew that. We knew that going into the game too.
Sure. But we held out hope. And look, it just didn't happen this time.
Yeah.
It's levels to this shit, bro. With respect to Colorado and Prime and all that, it's levels. I
ain't want him to get shut out. Okay.
No. Well,
and again, I tweeted it at halftime, and I knew they're not benching players at halftime. So, as long as the starters are out there, Hey, give me something. Give me something.
Because
you're not going to the bench at halftime. So
I guess. I mean, yeah. The way I see it, and I get it, it's college. Protect. Hey, if anything, protect Shador, bro, because he get injured, it's a wrap.
No, facts. I understand that point too. I get that point too.
Protect him, if anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And it's not like your second best player ain't out right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
for more weeks too.
Yeah. So I hear you, but I saw you trying to segue to college scores. Obviously, in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins put up college football numbers. Look,
35 points in the first half, 35 points in the second half, and you got a Mike White appearance, and even Mike White threw a touchdown pass.
Let's be very clear. If I'm Mike McDonald, I'm breaking that fucking record. I don't give a fuck. Like, what are you talking about? Did you hear what he said?
Nah, I ain't hear what he said.
Mike McDaniel?
Mike
McDonald, yeah.
You're talking about a D coordinator. Pause.
No, Mike McDonald is a singer that sang. It's Mike McDonald.
I know. Michael McDonald is a singer, but Mike McDonald is the Ravens D coordinator. Pause.
Fuck him. I wasn't talking about him. I wasn't thinking about
watch
him.
your mouth, B.
Yeah, fuck Mike McDonald.
Watch your mouth,
that
B.
Way. Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that shit. But yeah.
All
right. Anyway, Mike McDaniel said that he didn't want to kick the field goal that would give them the record for highest scoring points in a game because he didn't want to embarrass the Denver Broncos. So at the end of the game, they were in field goal range and they could have kicked the field goal, whatever.
Right.
And instead they kneeled. Hey, bruh, three more points is not going to further embarrass the Denver Broncos. And more important, Denver Broncos should have been able to stop y'all. I'm breaking that record. Fuck what you're talking about. You are never scoring 70 points in a game again.
Again, right.
Why wouldn't you just break the record so that record is on you forever?
Right. The Dolphins. Like, you coaching the Dolphins. Like, that's the team that's got the undefeated record. So imagine if you would have broke that record, the scoring in the game record. Like, that franchise would have two.
The record is right now is 72. Nigga, kick that. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Man, you better kick that field goal and stop playing these games, man.
That's So I'm not as I'll say this. I'm not as like upset about it as most people are that he didn't do it. To me it was okay if you kick it. If you don't, whatever. I mean, you won the game.
It's ignorance.
Handily, you won the damn game.
It's not ignorance. I ain't gonna cut you off. It's not ignorance. It's just like, bruh, it's just your excuse was stupid.
The excuse. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Dumbass excuse.
I agree with that part.
You were embarrassing them. You embarrassed them at 50 when it was 56.
Right.
At fucking in the fourth quarter.
When it was 35 to what? 13, 35 to 16 or something.
It's embarrassing right then. But let's be clear. It was 56 to whatever at the fourth. The fourth quarter had started, and y'all still went and scored 14 more points. That's not embarrassing, man. You better score that 17 points in the fourth quarter and get that record, man. Come on, man. You're never gonna do that again, man. You're never gonna do that again.
Yeah. See, when I think about it, like when you think about the Dolphins, the only franchise to go undefeated. And then
fuck all that.
No, I'm just saying like to have that record and then to possibly have the all-time scoring in a game record, like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about Mike McDaniel as an individual.
No, I get that. No, I get that. I'm just saying if he'd have got that record, then that franchise would be synonymous with those two records, which are big records to have. You know what I mean? I get it from that standpoint, but I'm gonna say I'm not as angry about it as most people are. Like,
I'm not mad about it. I just think that was a misstep. I ain't mad about it. I do think that was a fucking misstep.
I won't say it's a misstep. I'll say like what you said. The excuse he gave for not doing it was a bit crazy. Like I'll agree with you there.
No, that was stupid. I think him not making history when it's right there in your face.
Because he was aware of it. Like he had to be aware.
Of course he was.
He had to be aware of it.
I'm sorry, Trey. That's
when it was happening.
When history is right in your face and you don't go get history, I'm sorry, Trey. That's a misstep, bruh. That's a misstep.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is a misstep.
It's a weird cat, though. when you hear this dude talk, he's a weird cat. But God bless.
Yeah, God, good thing I don't listen to him talk. hey, but shout out to them Denver Broncos fans, man. Like, shout out to them, man.
So I got a question. About the Broncos, and we got a guest coming on in a few minutes here. I feel like, and I know it's 3 games, but I feel like if you're on that defense as a coach or coordinator, and you give up 70 points to a pro team, I feel like somebody got to get that pink slip, bro.
I feel like
and I don't like calling for people's jobs and stuff. And I know Vance Joseph is the D coordinator over there, black man and all that. But you give up 70, you feel like something's got to change. Like somebody's head got to roll for that.
Nah, I'm not. I don't think somebody should get fired for it. Look, man, sometimes it just be like that, man.
Wait, what do you mean sometimes? I've never seen a 70-point game in the NFL before.
Sure.
What are we talking about?
Yes, that's the great point. But you talking about levels. I'm just talking about sometimes you just ain't got it and you get blown out. Not that bad. I get you. I'm with you there. But look. Because that's emotion. Where you gonna go? Who you gonna hire?
Yeah, and that's why I said I know it's only 3 games into the year.
Most teams haven't even found their rhythm in 3 games.
So
I know both of our teams know that for a fact.
Right.
A lot of teams don't even find their rhythm to the 4th, 5th game.
Right.
So with Wild, that is that's a terrible thing to have to go through as a defensive coordinator. Man,
if this happened in week 14, I think we're having a different conversation about.
If it happens in week 7, we're having a different conversation.
Yeah.
But week 3, it's just early. Teams haven't became who their finished product ain't on the field yet. Mm-hmm. And now I don't think Denver's going to be that much better just looking at what they're doing so far.
Not defensively. No,
I don't think they're going to be much better. I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were last year. But would they win 6 games last year?
I think they won 5-6 games last year, something like that.
So they'll win. Maybe they'll win 7 games if they get it all. If they get it all together, but. They'll still be a bad team. So.
Yeah. Well, Russ has played a little bit better.
Russ scored 20 points when they were clearly playing.
But I'm talking about how he looks when he's playing. Last year he looked bad. He looked bad. So he looks better. He looks better through these 3 games.
But he's not meeting the standard.
I'm not. No, of course not. No,
okay.
Of course not. Right. No, of course not.
I don't care about that.
No. I do because he looked so bad last year, and this year you can see the difference. Like Sean Payton is definitely, got to him in some form of fashion. It's just not good enough because the defense isn't good enough.
And he's also not getting in the end zone.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
okay, so it's not just the defense.
Well, it's mostly the defense.
Well, okay. Well, but how much they scored against Washington? They scored 33, and they scored. Did they even score that much against the Commanders?
30. What was that scored? I think that was 33, and that was it was 33 because remember they converted the Hail Mary. Right. And then they gone for 2 and they didn't get the 2, and I know the Commanders put up 35. So yeah, that was a 33.
And then they put up 20 something against Oakland.
That was 16 points.
LA, I'm sorry, Las Vegas. I'm sorry.
16 points. Where the defense was good in that game. Defense was good. Offense, I would blame the offense on that game for certain. But
I'm saying all that to say this in reference to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was paid a lot of money to be Russell Wilson, some semblance of what he was in Seattle. I mean, let's be clear. We didn't know he was going to drop off like this when he came to Denver. I remember when he got traded to Denver, and we was like, "Oh, Denver might be, something to play with because Russell Wilson is coming to Denver. Their quarterback issues are resolved now. That's how we treated Russell Wilson to Denver. Their issues aren't resolved. In the second year,
I'm not saying it is.
No. But I'm saying the expectations for Denver are higher, or for him are higher.
Yeah.
And then you bring in Sean Payton, who is the short quarterback whisperer, they say.
Right.
And I get it. It's 3 games, so I don't want to.
And that's all I'm saying. It's 3 games.
Give me 70-30 then, Trey. Give me 70-30 then.
I hear you. I hear you.
Because in the fourth quarter,
yeah,
it was very clear that the Dolphins were playing back, and it was giving them anything they wanted in front of them. So you telling me y'all couldn't even get into the end zone when they was just giving you shit in front of them? They just not letting you make the big play. So that means you could methodically get up and get a touchdown. You could methodically get up and get a field goal, and you would have had 30 points. And 30 points, yes, the defense let you down, but the conversation wouldn't be about both sides of the ball if you scored 30 points as opposed to 20.
But I don't think the conversation after that game was about both sides of the ball. I think I think the first focus for everyone was, damn, that defense just gave up 70 points.
The first focus. The second focus is you should be able to score points.
Sure.
20 points ain't gonna cut it when you feel like you got a franchise quarterback, and in the fourth quarter you know that defense wasn't playing to really stop you.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get
that's not
it.
acceptable,
That team. No, I'm not saying it is acceptable. I'm just saying that Russell Wilson looks better than he did last year. It's just right now. It's just not good enough, and I don't think that team as a whole is good enough right now.
But I'm trying to kick his back in because he deserves his back to be kicked in right now, and I feel like that you should be him bail.
Pause.
Yeah, what, kicking his back in? No, Russell Wilson deserves his fucking back kicked in.
Pause.
Dude, I don't know what sounds gay about him getting his back kicked in. Because I kicked niggas in their back all the day back in my old days, so I don't know what sounds crazy about that.
That was wild. That was wild.
Hey, bro, your arm hurt how you reaching, bro. That's not crazy. I kicked niggas in their back all the time when I was a youngin'.
Hey, go ahead. Finish your point. We got our mans on here.
All right, he should be getting his.
I'm trying to fix my audio. Give me a second.
You good? He should be getting his back kicked in for being a trash ass quarterback when he was paid to be a franchise quarterback, and this is his second year in. I get that he looks better, but until you look standard, where you could score 30 points when a team on defense is clearly not even playing you no more because they won the game.
It's just 3 games. It's 3 games.
It is 3 games, but right now he playing like he not meeting. I ain't gonna say he playing like shit because
it's not enough. It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
He need to step his game
I agree.
up.
I agree.
He need to step his game up. Period.
It's not
period.
enough. But
no bail shot for him.
But the fact is too, and I'll close with this. The fact is too, while it is not enough through these 3 games compared to last year, he looks a lot like you can see the difference in his play. He looks better than he did last year. Last year he was bad. He was ass.
I agree with you.
He was ass last year.
But I agree with that. But it'd be one thing if you was saying that last week against the Commanders. You saying that this week when they lost by fucking 20 points is asinine. It's craziness. It's craziness, Trey. I'm not talking about him playing better football when he got blown out by 50 points.
Yeah. Well, the defense got blown out by 50 points.
No, he as a quarterback got to score points too.
I get it. He wasn't winning that game. He wasn't winning that game. He wasn't winning that game.
This is professional football.
Sure. He was not winning that game.
That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm arguing is that you got to be able to put points on the board.
I hear you.
All right.
He needs to be better. I hear you. I think that's where
Speaking
we can.
of hearing, can
What's
y'all
up?
hear me?
What up?
Yeah, I can hear you good. I can hear you.
We
I can
good.
hear you, my guy.
You good. You good, my G. You good, my G.
I'm sorry you had to walk into me screaming, bro.
I needed 5 seconds to realize who we were talking about. Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, yeah, like it was his fault. Nah, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there.
because I calmed down now, so there's no need.
I'm not even gonna go there. We talking about a defense that got put 70 on them, and Russell Wilson's the talk of the conversation, which he should be. He should
stop
be.
painting narratives. You about to make me mad again.
Why am I making you mad again? I just said I said he needs to be the talk of the conversation, but that
Do
defense.
you hear your tone?
Bruh.
All right, go ahead. Introduce the guest, bro.
Bruh, you wild, man.
This is gonna become a psychological conversation about body language.
You making it psychological? I'm not. I'm just pointing out some facts.
I can't help what I hear, bro. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Hey, bro. Hey, Alex Burgos, welcome back, man. Just want to point out your resume real quick. At RBR Boxing on Instagram and Twitter, I think, right?
Round by round boxing on Instagram, RBR boxing on Twitter.
Okay, there we go. How's everything, man? Welcome back, bro.
Excellent, man. Love to hear from you guys. Always keeping in tune and seeing what you guys are up to. I love the talk. I love jumping right into a hot debate too. So I don't care. Anytime when I'm coming in, it's always spicy. I like it.
Yeah, no, it seems like that happens a lot. Like I'm normally yelling by the time somebody get in.
No, but everything is good, man. Just been keeping up with more than just boxing these days. A bunch of soccer, football.
Yeah, Commanders, man, had a terrible one on Sunday, man.
Yeah, man.
I wasn't going to go straight into that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. So I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I just became a season ticket holder this season.
Congrats, man.
Well, I don't know if this is the right time to say congrats, but
imagine, new ownership, man.
No, yeah. So I jumped in right before the new ownership, so I got in like right at a great time. I mean, I love my seats, the whole vibe and everything, but I was just disappointed from top to bottom. Of how everything went on Sunday.
So you understand the tone deafness that I be talking about when you talking to this nigga? Why would it be good to have season ticket season right now on Tuesday after they got that ass waxed?
Wait a minute. They're 2-1. They got new ownership. They played one of the best teams in the AFC. Like, calm down. Like, what are we talking about?
15,000 feet.
Yeah,
but
even if I was arguing with Bills fans, which I was afterwards, talking about what's your record? 2-1. What's our record? 2-1. We're not that 2-1.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. I get that. And you had the Commanders as a playoff team, Maestro.
And I still do. But right now, after they just got their
what are we talking about?
Right now, if you'd have said this on Thursday, all right, maybe the stink of that loss is off you by maybe Thursday, Friday. On Tuesday, that stink is fresh. It's fresh.
Well, I want to go back also. I want to go back to something we were talking about in the last time I was on the show, which was Sam Howell. Who is Sam Howell? We didn't know.
Right.
We had the optimistics talking like he was the second coming because of that Cowboys game. And then, people like me, I think I said it on the show, is like, we just don't know. We don't have a large enough body of work. And I think the same rings true. If you brought me on last week, maybe we start talking, it seems like he might be the guy. He's not. And I'm not saying he's not long-term.
Right.
Just right now, we can't say he is that guy. There's a lot to be desired just with the team in general. The offensive line, it's not just him. Offensive line, I need a lot more from everybody. So, if our defense can't win games, then we're going to have a big problem because our offense is not at the level to compete with some of these better teams. And so it's unfortunate, but hopefully it brings everyone back down to earth a little bit. I love the vibe and the feeling and the positivity around celebrating the team. Snyder's gone and everything, new ownership. Seems like all the legends are coming back, and I love all that stuff. But we're still in the infant stages of fielding a team that's going to be competitive, especially, even though the Cowboys lost this weekend, we got to be honest, they're a really good team.
Right.
Obviously the Eagles are a notch above everyone else. So, Giants, for whatever's going on with them, seem to be going into
it's a wrap for the Giants.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the Commanders, you love to see the comeback against the Broncos, the grittiness to be able to fight and just win those ugly games like the Cardinals. Like in years past, you don't always get that.
Right.
So it's good to be 2-1 versus 0-3 or 1-2.
Right.
But at the same time, let's, pump the brakes a little bit, man. Like we need more from this team, and it's going to take a lot, to turn this thing around. It's not just like a couple games and we're like, oh, all right, we're playoff bound. So, I'm optimistic in the sense that going into the season, I was like, not sure, I went to camp a couple times and saw Hal and everything like that. I mean, I like what I see, but it's just like, it's going to take a lot, to convince me that he is the franchise guy. Like, we're not talking about Caleb Williams, you know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about a guy that we're like already sold on. Yeah, he's going to go through his ups and downs. Like, no, he might not be the guy, but let's give him a chance.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what I think I hear you saying, sir, is and 2-1. Look, we 2-1 too. I get it, and we are definitely on the worst side of 2-1 right now. So we in the same boat, me and you. Maybe even Baltimore, but that's another story.
No, we definitely not on the. We're on different 2-1s right now. based on expectations, we are different 2-1s right now.
I mean, I'll argue with you about that later.
I'm with the smoke.
Look, cause don't get. Come on, you about to take me off topic.
Psychological.
Because that win against Houston. That win against Houston wasn't hitting on nothing, and then you lost to the Colts. So
sure, the Super Bowl champions last year lost to the Colts last year too, right?
I don't know what the fuck that got to do with your team.
Well,
I don't know what you just told me about last year.
Yeah.
You just say about something that happened last year?
He's just saying a team can bounce back and still win.
Thank you. See, thank you. Thank you.
I wasn't getting that.
Oh my God.
I wasn't getting that.
Thank you, Alex.
And who knows? I mean, Chiefs lose to the Lions too. We don't know. I mean, the Lions look good, but we don't know what they're going to be. Let's see the full season.
Right.
Let's see what that loss
and can I bring up two more games, two more upsets over the weekend? You saw what happened to the Cowboys against the Cardinals, who everybody said was the worst team in the league. You saw that, and then you saw and props to
Is that what people are saying? The Cardinals are the worst team in the league?
I mean, going into the season, people thought that they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
I said after 3 games because I watched them. Yeah, okay, but go
ahead. No. And then the other game, the other upset from the weekend was, and shout out to CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans getting their first win as coach and quarterback, but they beat the Jaguars' ass, and we have expectations for the Jacksonville Jaguars to be a playoff team, to win that division, no less. And they got their ass whooped at home. So
that betting line was heavy in favor of the Jaguars too.
Yeah, for real. I mean, do we think of the Jaguars any different now because of that?
I don't know.
I don't.
I didn't watch the game. I'll say this. I didn't watch the game.
Okay.
That's what I'll say. I didn't watch the game.
They put 17 on the Texans.
Sure, but again, I didn't watch the game, so I gotta see what happened.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like we can draw inferences, and maybe I'm with you just based on who I know the Jaguars to be and who I historically know the Texans to be.
Right.
But I got.
And the same thing applies to Dallas. Like, do we have a feeling about Dallas after them losing to the Cardinals? I don't feel any different about Dallas.
Yeah, but y'all got some injuries and some deficiencies. Talking about Baltimore before all this happened, and I get that we expect Lamar Jackson to save them from all of that, but it may be, and again, only 3 games. It may be a little realistic to think that, hey man, I can't save y'all through all this. Y'all might got to get me some help.
Well, they got him help. They got him help.
Well, they made attempts. I'm with you. J.K. Dobbins being injured is a problem. You like that's the issue. That's a tough void to fill.
Right.
But that injury and it's nobody's fault. I'm just saying. But that injury does put Lamar Jackson back into a situation where he may have to do a little more than he wants to do.
I think it's not just the Dobbins injury, and just to kind of go through the list. So before the game, that injury list got longer. Like Justice Hill being out for the game, like that was kind of a shock to me because I didn't expect him to I didn't know we got hurt. Let's put it there. I didn't know we got hurt. Beckham, I knew there was going to sit, and I thought the whole Beckham, sitting for this game was the team not respecting the Colts. And I tweeted this. I don't know if you saw my tweet before the game, but I said this was a precautionary. This was them protecting Odell Beckham for at Cleveland, at Pittsburgh, playing the Titans in London. Like those are our next road games, right? Mm-hmm. And I just thought this team doesn't respect the Colts. They're just going to sit these guys out, try to get this win against a bad team, and then we go through the tough part of the schedule. And then we got players on defense added to the injury list. We lost a couple of guys during the game on defense. We lost Rashad Bateman in the second half. Like we had guys dropping throughout this game, not to make excuses, but to get to my point about the running back situation. Bro, they scared to play Kenyon Drake and Melvin Gordon. They scared to play those guys. And I don't know if you watched the game, but you can tell with the play calling, you can tell that they called more design runs for Lamar than they did the previous week against Cincinnati, because we had Gus Edwards healthy, we had Justice Hill, and Gus, I forgot to mention Gus too. Gus was in concussion protocol. Mm-hmm. So that's why Gordon got 10 carries. That's why Kenyon Drake ended up getting 11 carries, and he had that fumble that I thought changed the whole complexion of the game in that first quarter, whatever. But they're scared to play those guys, and the way Melvin Gordon runs the ball, like every time the dude touches the ball, like I have to hold my breath because I think he's gonna fumble and stuff. So. But yeah, it's a bad loss. It's a bad loss.
Terrible.
And Lamar,
I'm sorry we had to put you through that, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah. I really had a question about the Commanders.
Well, hey, if you got some input, Alex, go ahead, put your input in. But I'm just because we were supposed to be talking about this before you got on.
No. I would say because you know more than I do regarding the Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are supposed to fill those voids though. The Drakes, right, and the Gordons. And so I think that's what separates the good teams from the great teams, the bad teams from the not so good teams, whatever it is. It's like next man up. You got to, especially when you have guys, those are notable guys.
Right.
They got to be able to step up, and maybe they need a couple weeks, whatever. The Ravens need to get comfortable with them on that level, on that scale. So you would hope to see that if you're a Ravens fan, because you can't go back to Lamar just being 1A, 1B, 1C. He's
right.
Being
the leading rusher, right? Like we can't go back to that.
Right. So you would hope that they get to speed pretty quickly. And, I mean, I guess it might be one of those games. Okay, if we're talking in 10 weeks, let's see what happens. How the dice, roll and where the Ravens sit. And they're looking back on this game like, damn, we should have won that one. Now it's a make or break.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
exactly.
Those are the types of games that always get me with the Commanders, Redskins, whatever you want to call them. That it's always, looking back and it's like, man, now we're like sitting like 7-7, or like we're on that fence, and like we could have won those two games, or we could have been more competitive and done different things. So it just remains to be seen. I mean, I think, look, obviously the Ravens fan base, the Steelers fan base, when we're talking about the 2-1s, you guys just have different expectations, and rightfully so.
Right.
What would the Commanders have? And you expect a little bit more at this point, which is fair. That's why, even though I'm giving people shit at the end of the Bills game, they're like, celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. We're 2-1, they're 2-1, but it's a different 2-1. That's something.
I agree. So, how many? Okay, let me throw a scenario at you. Next 5 games, and I don't know your schedule in the next 5 games, but let's say you go 2-3. How long is it going to take for the whole mystique of new ownership and all those things? How long is it before we get to straight football with the Commanders, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect to win against the Eagles. Thursday night at the Bears at home, I expect to win that.
You better beat the Bears.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, now, does that leave us in a great spot? No, but okay, we're being, realistic here. I mean, obviously we beat the Eagles last year, but I think the one thing that you didn't mention there with the, the mystique of everything is we still have that one hanging thread, which not everyone was super happy with, myself included, in that Ron Rivera is still the head coach. And he's the, the guy selecting the players. So buddy mine saying, you have the GM role, the coach's role. When you have your team now 3-4 years in the making, you've made those decisions to fill those gaps with the players that you want. A lot of times people come in and like, oh, he took over someone else's team, or he's doing what he can with that team, et cetera, et cetera. This is Ron Rivera's making. So you can't be getting beat the way that they got beat on Sunday. I don't expect them to beat the Bills. I expect them to be competitive.
Right.
And field a team that doesn't look like they're playing, JV football, high school football.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was bad. It was bad.
They look lost. And that's top to bottom. Bieniemy as well. So now what I would like to see is Bieniemy become the coach. So when I'm talking about, the mystique or whatever, I think people should still be optimistic and happy, because I think regardless of a Super Bowl run, Ron Rivera is not that guy. You know what I mean? And no knock on him. Seems like a very nice guy. Maybe he can fill that role of, maybe front office a little bit better if he steps away from being the head coach, et cetera, et cetera. He picked Bieniemy, he wants to give him that opportunity. I like all that. But in the role as the head coach, I just do not think, and let's be honest, I love Taylor Heineke. Heineke saved his ass on multiple occasions. And, if I were him, I don't appreciate the way that he was treated towards the end. I mean, I think he earned his spot to be that quarterback, and whatever, that's water under the bridge. But I just think, regardless of how the next few weeks go, I think that, barring some kind of 5, 6, 7 game run, and now we're like looking like the strongest team in the NFC East. I mean, whatever it is, I just don't think that he's that guy, or that fans are really rallying around him being that guy, because, year 4, I mean, you got to do better than what you did last week. And it's time to look towards who the next person is going to be to lead this team. And I think, for me, it's obvious Bieniemy should be that guy.
Yeah. I think that's been like the plan the whole time, though.
I think so too.
Right. But what I find tough is, like, do we ride out the Ron Rivera, regime and like time as head coach respectfly? Or does he get
just
the
fire him?
Boot, you know what I mean? Like, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute, it was supposed to be like a baton handoff, not the
I'm here to replace you,
and then I'm here to replace. Yeah, so it's like that might rub people a little bit the wrong way too, depending on how the season goes.
I think I think if there is a parting of the ways, I think it should be at the end of the year. Like, I think Ron Rivera should be given a chance to coach this football team this year, and then depending on how it shapes out, then that baton needs to be passed over to EB. But I'm looking at your schedule here, and you have some winnable games on the schedule, bruh. I mean, home against the Bears, at the Falcons, at the Giants, with the Eagles game in there, in between there. Like, that's a stretch where you can go 3-1 right there.
Yeah, I mean, divisional games, I don't care if the Giants are winless. It wouldn't matter.
That's true.
That's always going to be a hard game. Again, I don't go in with this expectation of, we're going to dominate. Look, I would have thought they would have put on a better performance against the Cardinals. But,
absolutely.
On paper, and then another thing happens, and now we're looking at the Cardinals. Okay, they can compete even without Kyler Murray. They beat the Cowboys. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So you got to take it week by week. I mean, maybe Justin Fields has this, tremendous game that we've never seen before, because obviously that always happens with the Commanders, or I want to say DC teams in general, man. I feel like we're always like the historical night for some other team.
Right.
So you just never know, man. You never know. I hope it's a better, environment, and a better. There were so many Bills fans there on Sunday, man. I'll be there Thursday night for the Bears, and we'll see, man. I don't have super high expectations, but I hope it's better than like Carson Wentz Thursday night.
That's the thing too. That one more point before we get to boxing. But you mentioned something about a lot of Bills fans being in that stadium, and that's been a problem for a number of years, the past few years. Under Dan Snyder and stuff. So getting fans back in that building like yourself with the season tickets and stuff, and they start winning again. then, more of these games are going to be, 90% Commanders fans. That's the hope, right?
Right. Yeah, 100%. I mean, and yeah, you definitely saw that, selling of the tickets and all that stuff to Bills fans. And look, I mean, if you're selling me the dream of, oh, you get shorter lines because you're a gold member and this and that, and it's just like a free for all when you're walking into the stadium and it's 90% Bills fans versus, I mean, it's just, it's stupid. It's stupid. So you would hope to see, however that gets fixed, for it to happen, sooner rather than later.
Wins, my brother. Wins normally does it.
Yeah.
I got one more little shady point before we go to boxing, man, because I want Ron Rivera fired like you.
I mean, I don't want him. Not that I want him fired. I just, the parting of ways needs to happen.
I'll stand on the hill. I want him fired.
Put him up in the front office.
Kick him. Kick him. You know why I don't even want him in front office? Because he talks too much. He talks way too much. He be like, and me, I'm a stickler. I do enjoy some good old honesty. But some of the stuff he be saying in press conferences is like, well, I would have been played Sam Howell if I'd have known he was this good.
Or what was the incident during the preseason, Maestro, where, you know what I'm talking about, Alex?
Yeah, but I would say that was a little bit of clickbait, because a lot of people were reacting to the headline, which was Rivera says players complaining about Bieniemy.
Right.
Yeah, Bieniemy being too strict. But if you read into the quote and the in its totality, and what he was saying was like, yeah, players weren't ready for that level of, but they liked that Bieniemy was so. It was something more along those lines as opposed to him just throwing
culture
him under
change,
the bus. And,
culture change type things.
Right.
But he also didn't know he was in the playoff race last year.
Stuff like that is annoying.
Yeah. So it's like, all right. So it's either you're going to be in the. It's because if you're going to promote him or give him, relieve him of coach duties so he could do more office stuff, then he can't do interviews no more. That's all I'm saying. It's just not a good look. I was having that conversation with a fan the other day, and I'm like, bro, you're not going to sit here and tell me. I get it, honesty, all those things. There are certain honesties and certain truths that don't need to be in the media, bro. It's just no way to slice it. It's no way you need to let people know that you didn't know that y'all was still in the playoff race. It's just certain things like that. The whole Sam Howell thing. Look, I get it that and maybe your intention was to be like, oh, we really believe in Sam Howell. It's just messy. It's just messy, useless shit that you don't have to say.
Right.
And you got as if y'all don't got it. Like y'all just got off of a big negative media train. You're adding maybe little flickers, but you're adding to the negative media train of shit that people could talk about when they need to be focusing on football. That'd be my only issue around with her. I don't want him to coach no more. I don't want him to be in front of a podium no more. And more than that, I want Eric Bieniemy to be coaching. In order for him to be coach, somebody got to get fired. So I want him gone.
Yeah.
I want him gone.
I'm ready for the turn. Like, let's go ahead.
I hear you, bro. Hey man, let's talk about this upcoming fight this weekend, man. Marquee matchup, man. Give us your thoughts about these two cats right here, Charlo versus Canelo.
Yeah, man, it's an exciting fight. First time ever. You see, two undisputed 4 belt holders, meeting to fight each other. Obviously, there's the whole commemorative belt that the WBC is doing as well. Charlo jumping up 2 weight classes. I will say I don't think the size is as much of a serious issue as maybe some people might lead you to believe. I think with Jermall Charlo being, a weight class above a 160-pounder middleweight, that's kind of deterred Jermell from going up. So he's obviously got the frame to be a middleweight. So, maybe just going up 1, and Canelo's not the biggest guy either. So I think size-wise shouldn't be a big of an issue. Now, I'm not taking away from if Charlo wins the historical implication of jumping up 2 weight classes. What I'm saying is I don't see him like being dwarfed or the size being an issue for him. That shouldn't be a reason why we point to at the end of the fight and be like, man, if he was just a little bit bigger or if he was faster or this or that. I don't think those are the ins and outs or the X's and O's that are going to win him the fight. But it's an exciting fight. Canelo being, top 5 pound for pound on most people's lists, all the, the ESPNs and the Ring magazines and all those transnational boxing rankings, all those, like, they have him ranked. He's one of the best. Now he's coming off a performance against John Ryder that was not his best. So now it's the question of, past 30, is he on the way down? I think one of the big issues is he's treating weight classes like, it's nothing. And you've seen it time and time again. You can't keep on going up and down, fighting good competition, fighting bigger fighters, and expect your body not to take a toll. Now, he said going into this on the first presser, hey, I feel better than I ever have. I don't have any nagging injuries or things that are really hindering me in training. So I would hope that we'll see a Canelo Alvarez with the fluidity, the movement, and the activity that we saw maybe in like the Daniel Jacobs fight. If that Canelo shows up, then it's going to be really tough for Jermell Charlo, who, with only one loss under his belt, is a top fighter, top 10 arguably, and has accomplished a tremendous amount at 154 pounds. But it's interesting, man. It's interesting. You don't, I think the knock sometimes from fans too is you don't see Canelo against young African-American fighters either.
Right.
So it's that stylistic matchup sometimes.
Exactly.
There's a fighter by the name of Tim Tszyu that fought from Australia that fought Terrell Gausha not too long ago. But I remember going into that fight, it's like Tszyu was like taking people by storm. He was knocking everyone out. He's from Australia. You don't fight that type of guy, you know what I mean? And so like
I showed his move a little different. I showed his move a little different.
And got knocked down in the first round. You know what I mean? Like, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, you know what I mean? But sometimes it takes something like that. So if you're not used to that, so stylistically and matchups wise, I think that's a cool and interesting tidbit that maybe some people aren't comfortable talking about, but it's a real thing. So
yeah, I agree.
I like it. So now Canelo is athletic and can do different things as well. And the fights that we've seen him lose, I think, like the Bivol fight, I don't think Jermell Charlo can fight that fight and be the physically more imposing guy and push him back with his jab. I don't know that he's going to be able to do that, but there are maybe little tidbits that you can look at in certain fights, things that Gennady Golovkin did in the first fight or second fight, more so the first fight, maybe that might have bothered Canelo and how Bivol won that fight and things like that. So there's things to look at. I mean, interesting, super interesting on paper.
Yeah. So tell me about, look, I think most people got Canelo coming out to be victorious. So tell me about some things that Charlo can do strategically to pull the upset if emphatically is an upset, which I think we all believe it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things from my perspective for Canelo is that the knock on him has historically been, for the most part, his stamina. So can you, if you're Charlo, can you fight at a pace and push the action maybe a little bit to get Canelo to 7, 8, 9, where now he starts to fade a little bit. He might be a little more gassed. And can he take what Canelo's bringing back at him? Obviously, like, taking punches from a bigger man is always going to be tricky as well. We don't know, how he's going to, respond to that. But he's taken some big punches, from guys, Castaño being a puncher that can really throw hands. And Charlo was able to handle that. And so it just depends on the type of fight that Jermell Charlo wants to fight. I don't think he does anything exceptionally well.
Right.
He does everything really good.
Right.
He does it at a high level, not great. And the one thing, the thing that we can't really measure, because we've never seen him fight a guy like this big, 168 pounder, is his power. Will his power travel from 154 pounds to 168 pounds? Right. If he goes in there and he's able to buzz Canelo early, then we're talking, oh, okay, well, he may feel a little bit better going in and going on the attack and really pushing Canelo back with his jab and being more offensive minded. I think reaction wise, agility, movement, Charlo can give Canelo problems, much the way that some other fighters have done in the past. Even Caleb Plant, being a slick fighter, head movement. Now again, Charlo is not, when you think of him, you don't think, oh yeah, he's got this or he's got that. He's got really good power, really good athleticism, movement, the technical aspects.
Nothing elite though.
Yeah, so it's hard to think, okay, is he going to be able to keep Canelo at bay with the jab all fight and then set up something powerful and knock him out? If I had to bet, I'd bet on Canelo. It's the minus 350 money line for him. He went in as a minus 475 against Bivol, so it's lower than that fight. But I mean, it remains to be seen which version of Canelo we see. And like I said, if he comes in looking like he did against Daniel Jacobs, it's going to be a tough night for Charlo. Because that Canelo was on his A game. He didn't really fade. And, obviously that has to do with opposition as well. But I think Charlo can push the action a little bit more and see, hey, you don't have to bank maybe all of those early rounds. But if you feel like, hey, I am powerful enough to hurt this guy, let's see what happens in rounds 7, 8, 9.
Right.
You don't have to really blow your load early. It's not go for broke.
Pause.
But yeah, but also there's always the aspect of when you fight a guy like Canelo or the cash cow of boxing, any of these guys, can I win a fight on the scorecards? Can I win a decision? So I don't know how much that factors into their game plan, but sometimes you got to knock him out to get a draw. You know what I mean? So it just depends. Now, the corruption and that stuff aside, sometimes we can eyeball it. We can look at a fight and be like, okay, he definitely won that fight. Stats might also, follow that storyline. So as long as I see a fight where I'm like, oh, okay, well, Charlo won that's what I'll say. Charlo won it. But
Right.
I just don't know that he can do enough in that sense. But I'd like to see, can his power buzz Canelo and can he get his respect and then maybe do some of these things where he's walking supposedly, quote unquote, the bigger man down. In the later rounds.
So Canelo wins. So if let's say he's on his B+ game, B game, how long does it take for him to win this fight, or does he knock Charlo out?
I don't think he's
at all, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna knock Charlo out. I think it might be a decision, a comfortable one, perhaps, but I don't really see it being one where he's like, he gets him into the later rounds and knocks him out. I think Charlo takes a good punch. And up to this point, obviously against smaller opposition, he's looked well, into the later rounds.
Right.
Now, there's been a couple times where he's been buzzed or whatnot, but yeah, I don't really see an issue with him getting knocked out. Now, again, against a bigger guy, maybe taking Canelo's punch. If he takes something clean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's generally like you said, he does everything good. Charlo, he does everything good. So I agree with you that he probably not gonna get knocked out, and it probably will go a decision. And by the way, I do got Canelo, but that's why I'm gonna bet on Charlo.
Yeah, I got Charlo, man. I haven't watched a lot of his previous fights, but I'm amazed at his record: 32 wins, 22 knockouts.
This is racism.
You said this is racism? This is a racism pick?
Yes, this is racism. It's cool, bro. It's cool. I'm not gonna lie though. He got a problem with this. He be having a problem with this. He be wanting quarterbacks that don't really need to play because.
Hey. But you know what? I like the fact when and if it's not like overly biased.
Yeah, right.
If you go into a fight, dude, if I go into a fight, first of all, you don't see many Peruvian Salvadorian fighters. Right. Very few. And if I go in and I see a guy fight, I don't know the other, of course I'm rooting.
Damn right.
You're nothing against the other guy, but
absolutely.
Game or whatever it is, like.
All the time.
Built-in bias a little bit.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not going to hold it against
Canelo's a legend. Like, I'm not trying to, poo-poo what he's done, bro.
I'm just trying to make you uncomfortable, bro. That's all. I was just trying to
I was not uncomfortable. I appreciate you giving me a good laugh right there. But look, man, 66% knockout rate. I'm going with Charlo on this one, man.
Don't give me stats though, don't give me stats, because that's not why you going with him. It's not.
Huh?
It's not. Why you going with him?
Well, it can't be part of why I'm going with him.
It's not the reason.
It's a reason. It's a reason. It's not the reason.
Is going with Charlo regardless.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, it's a reason. And
I'm putting my money on
black.
Charlo. I'm with you.
He black.
Look,
I'm going with him. I'm going with him.
On Charlo.
I'm rooting
there
for
we
him.
Go.
Yeah, I'm putting my money on Charlo, even though I got Canelo. So let's be clear. Look, I'm with you. I'm just saying.
I'll put money up there with you, bro.
All right, yeah. Did you put money? Did you put money on Chicago?
I did not put money on Chicago yet, but
let me just put you on.
Uh-huh.
I'm because he don't know. So we both made, I guess, hot take predictions for the season.
Mhm.
He predicted before the season started that Chicago would win the division. I made a prediction that Buffalo Bills would miss the playoffs. Now I put my little $20 on there. I put my little $20 on the odds because I didn't know how to find it. Trey told me how to find it. I found it. Put my little $20 down. If I win, it's gonna be a little, you know what I mean, a little bit of loot.
Right.
I was definitely, and that was another reason why I picked the Commanders to upset last week. But hey,
But I still have to put the money down, and with the way Chicago's looking right now, them odds is getting so much.
that's true.
So I'm still gonna put it up. I'm still gonna put the money up.
That's true.
So
That's true. All right.
So
All right.
What I was gonna say is the one guy I would take who's smaller against Canelo, and it's an argument starter for a lot of people, is Terrence Crawford. I've been saying Terrence Crawford is the best pound for pound fighter for 5 years. I mean, anytime you would talk to me, he's just and people argue his resume, his this, his that.
Yeah.
If you watch and cover, I'm not saying I cover, longer or more than it. I've been covering.
Now you qualified, bro. Talk your
for
shit.
10 years.
Yeah.
But during the last fight I was covering in DC when Tank fought in January, I got to see a lot of people that are cross country people that don't really come to this side often. So it's great to chop it up with people. But we got into a bunch of conversations where it's like who would win Crawford Spence.
Right.
For me, it was always Crawford. It was always Crawford. Crawford's always, and what I'm getting at is if you watch them fight, if you see his style, you don't need to see him. Obviously you want to, but I don't need to see him fight every welterweight ever. I know by looking at him, that eyeball test, this man is a legendary, once in a generation fighter. And I'm sorry, but I take him over Canelo. I take him over Jamel Charlo. I take him over Jamar.
I take him over Tyson Fury. I take him over people 100 pounds heavier than him. I learned
Hogan. Whoever you.
Long as it's in a boxing ring, long as you can't grab, as long as it's a boxing match.
No, what's scary is like he's a high level like grappler too. His kids are wrestlers, and he's got a wrestler. Man, put him in the octagon. Make some money real quick.
Look, that ass whooping he gave Errol Spence. I said never again. Never again.
You put your money up on that, right?
I lost money on that. I said the Errol Spence. I still want my $75. G.
Yeah, I made a nice little winning that night on Terrence Crawford. But look, I mean, it was on paper you'd think these two guys are it could go either way. And much respect to Spence. I mean, he's a legend too. But but man, Terrence Crawford is just cut from a different cloth, and so. When you talk about if that fight were to ever happen, Trey, I'm with you 100%. The Black Coalition will adopt me for that night, and we're making some money on Terrence Crawford.
No, don't worry. I ain't betting against Terrence Crawford no more in his career. No more. It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
Yeah, man. So that would be one, and to kind of bring it back to the Charlo and Canelo thing, Crawford was jabbing with Jermell Charlo that night because Charlo and Spence are trained by the same trainer, and so that's kind of on the horizon whether or not he wins or not, and then Derek James being like I said, Charlo and Errol Spence's trainer. I mean, he's kind of like hanging in the balance there. What's going to happen? Is there going to be a Crawford Spence rematch? Different things like that are going on. And so is this like a rematch of sorts for him? Or maybe getting some get back just on the grand scale of boxing, being able to beat or have your fighter beat a top guy in Canelo, and then see what happens with a Crawford fight. So there's a lot of like different little, storylines and strings that are attached to this one. But shout out to Derek James because he's an amazing trainer too. If you let other people tell, they'll start shitting on you when you start losing or whatever. But he's an amazing trainer.
Yeah, I agree. So what's the rumor mill on this second fight with Errol Spence and Bud Crawford that I don't need to see, but I'd watch it if it happened again?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of like weight and just what fight at what level at what weight makes sense for Spence. And Crawford, obviously the world is his oyster at this point. I mean, he could retire, he could move up, He could stay there. I mean, he could do whatever he wants. I'd love to see him challenge himself, and it seems like that's the type of thing that he needs just to get on a level where people are like, oh, he is that dude. Like, you know what I mean? Because like I said, he could fight anyone, and you're just going to see him be the same type of high level boxer fighter. He's just incredible. So, you know, whether he keeps on fighting the David Avanesians of the world and some of these other guys that he's fought, you know, obviously we don't need to see that.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, you know, I really don't want to see a Spence rematch, but it's his right. So if they can figure out, you know, he needs to put in writing that, hey, he can't make the weight anymore. He's going to move up to 154, which I think longevity wise, if he's going to keep on fighting, it makes more sense for him anyways. So if you're going to do the rematch and you can get it to work, do it at 154. If not, I mean, we don't need to see it. Crawford, move on, and let's see. The unfortunate part of this fight coming up, the Canelo Charlo one, is that, you know, Charlo would be a great fight for Crawford. But then like who knows how this one pans out, you know, if he wants a longer break after the Canelo fight or if he wins. I mean, it just kind of throws a bunch of different things in the air. But yeah, I mean, Crawford moving up would be interesting to fight, you know, anyone at 54, at 60, if you really want to challenge yourself. So it's interesting, man. It's interesting. You're always going to find people that are going to try to poke holes in his accomplishments, like I said, you know, because of his resume and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, he's incredible. And so if it's not that Spence rematch, which maybe contractually he has to do, then let's see what other fights he can do to challenge himself, you know, against some of these other guys.
All right, I got one more question, my guy. Was you about to say something, Trey?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Tyson about Tyson Fury, because he's got a fight coming up later next month, also, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's your thoughts about that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more like, you know, sideshow and you know, just trying to bring eyeballs, whatever. It's kind of like the YouTube stuff.
It's not the marquee matchup. I mean,
who is even good in heavyweight boxing right now?
Well, he's fighting the, you know, Francis and
Ngannou,
whatever.
Ngannou, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's not really like. It's like a Mayweather. It's like a Mayweather.
Oh! I thought you knew about some fight that I ain't know about. Oh no.
Okay. No. I mean, so the fight that should be happening, or that people want to see, is to unify the heavyweight division in Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. So that would be all the belts there, and then Usyk is obviously the guy that beat Anthony Joshua twice.
Right.
You know, at one point they're talking about doing a Wilder Joshua Fury Usyk fight on the same card on the same night in Saudi Arabia, which would be incredible. Yeah. But I mean,
it's about time for Joshua to come back. It's about that time, right?
Yeah.
Well, he just fought like a month ago.
Yeah, no, he had a couple.
He did. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's had a couple of victories. I was actually in London in May to see him fight. But yeah, I mean, he's looked decent. And then he just got another victory recently against a late substitute in Robert Helenius too. So, I mean, the fight, it has to be the one is Fury and Usyk, and they just can't come to terms and this and that, and you'll see them point fingers at each other all day. So, if it ever happens, yeah, hopefully it's within the next year or so, and then we'll see who's the man at heavyweight.
Tell me about my last question is tell me about what's going on in the likes of in the soap opera that is Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney. I'm leaving somebody out.
Yeah, well, Devin Haney's lined up to fight Regis Prograis. So I mean, that's an incredible fight. Regis Prograis, more of a veteran than any of those other younger guys. I'll tell you what, for my money, because Bud is on his way out, you know, so until he retires. But Shakur, I'm not betting, and put Shakur on your Terrence Crawford list.
Yeah.
Never bet against Shakur Stevenson.
Shit. Okay.
Never. And I'm talking about Devin Haney. I'm talking about Tank. I'm talking about, you know, obviously Ryan Garcia, whoever.
What about that cat from Philly, Ennis?
Jaron Ennis. Yeah, well, no, Jaron Ennis is a 147-pounder. So
gotcha.
That would be the fight that he's calling for, is obviously the Terrence Crawford fight, because he's a mandatory for one of the sanctioning bodies.
Gotcha.
And so he wants to be that next fight. But it's like one of these fights is just like two different, you know, for as good as Boots
levels.
Looks incredible. Yeah, but it's like Crawford is already there. We don't know about Jaron Ennis yet.
Gotcha.
Now, does he look like he's the goods? Yes. Absolutely, but he's that next generation. pump the brakes a little bit sometimes. Sometimes you just jump into things that are too much too soon. Fernando Vargas comes to mind when he fought Tito Trinidad. It's like sometimes you're too tough for your own good, or you think you can take on too much for your own good. So I'd like to see maybe boots against the next generation. And there's some good fights for him, but I think he could be that type of generational talent also.
Gotcha.
You just got to give him time. But in terms of Shakur, man, him versus Devin Haney, him versus Tank. Any one of these guys would be incredible, but it's just those aren't the fights that we're going to get, and I don't know if we do get them anytime soon. Maybe Haney and Shakur, but Haney's against Prograis, he's got a real fight.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Then Teofimo as well. Teofimo Lopez showed that against Josh Taylor, hey, he can come back. He was looking iffy for a while after the Cambosis fight. Doesn't look like his head is all there, but then he comes back and does that and beats a guy that is a top pound for pound fighter, was undefeated, and for all intents and purposes was the best fighter at 140 pounds. So it's tough. It's tough. That whole crop right there is going to be really interesting to see if they actually do fight each other. But there's a fight for Shakur that fell apart in Frank Martin. Frank Martin being a guy in Errol Spence's camp and actually promoted by him, but also trained by Derek James. So, high level guy, really good fighter as well, but for whatever reason they can't. That boxing always gets in its way, in its own way, because the promotional companies and the fact that they can't make these things. So I don't like to get into the money talk and all this stuff, and that's one of the things that the Shakur and Frank Martin thing was. Oh, he's asking for more money. He wants 50-50, this and that, whatever it is, man. Y'all couldn't make it happen, but for what it's worth, Shakur Stevenson for me, man. I would be pissed. I would be pissed if I was up and coming in that weight class
and had to deal with him.
Yeah, because you're not winning a title. You're not winning a title. You better move up. You better move down. You better do something where you don't have to fight this guy.
All right, I heard it. I heard it from the person that I trust. You the guy that I trust. Hey, listen to other people talk, and that's cool. I'm like, I hear you. I hear you. But I don't know you and I don't like you, so I'm rolling with my mans.
And hold on, before I get the hometown people, Tank is from Baltimore. I love Tank.
Sure,
I've covered his first fight as a professional, and I've covered him up until now. I love Tank. Tank is 1A, 1B maybe in and around those guys.
Side note, speaking of Tank, I'm at the MVA in Glen Burnie one Saturday, and looking over to where the people sitting, waiting to get called up, and I'm like, that look like Tank right there. And I ain't think nothing of it. I'm not the kind of guy that's, starstruck or, walking behind columns to see if it's really that person or not. I'm not that kind of guy, so I'm just like, all right, if it's him, it's him. And then I see him walking with two of his boys, look like, two bodyguards, whatever, and it was him. It was Tank in the MVA in Glen Burnie. The lady behind the kiosk was like, hey, I want to get a picture with you. So, she walked out with him and the bodyguards. They took their picture, and then she came back in, and then she, helped me whatever she was helping me with, whatever. So just a side note. Yeah.
You should have told him to holler at you, man.
It's a funny story. His manager, at the time, I don't know if he's still his manager, but was working with him. This is when Mayweather and Maidana fought. They were doing like a press tour in DC, and Tank was still pretty virtually unknown and hadn't signed to Mayweather Promotions yet. But he's like, can you take a picture of them for me? Like, and so like I took one of those early pictures of Tank and Floyd.
Wow.
During a press tour, which he was super quiet, but he's always been an incredible talent. And not to take anything away from Tank, man. It's always fun to see him and put on for the city and for the area. And so,
absolutely.
You saying, I just want to get you on quote. If they ever fought, which we agree that might not never happen, put my money on Stevenson.
Yeah, I would put my money on. I would put my money on Shakur Stevenson versus anyone in and around that weight class. And what I'm saying is like one below, one his weight class and one above. And he's gonna grow a little bit, maybe able to move up a couple more weight classes, but just skill wise, man. And he's not gonna come in and knock you out. He's just his IQ and his boxing ability. And to his credit, I mean, he sparred Tank,
Right.
years ago. He's trained a bunch of times with Terrence Crawford. I mean, he's just in and around all of these high level boxing guys working his craft. I mean, he's he's really good. And the only thing that, we may be talking about in a few years is, man, he doesn't have that marquee fight. And it's because people don't want to fight him.
Nobody want to fight him. Got you.
Yeah, you're definitely big time, bro. You going to London for fights and stuff, man. Man, you made it, man.
And I got one more shady comment. And it's not really shady, it's really love. I see your son doing his thing. I see him. He doing his thing.
I appreciate it, man.
My nephew coming behind him, though. My nephew about to be nasty with it. I can't wait. I can't. Yeah. He might be a little older than your son, but my nephew. Shout out my nephew Dimitri. Love you, boy. He's about to go crazy. So
what position? So he plays soccer?
I'm not that good of a soccer person. But I will find out and tell you. I know. I'm trash. I'm trash. I'm trash. But I did want to. I thought about it one day, and I was like, man, imagine, I don't know, 10 years from now, that your son and my nephew and like doing it the real way and playing that soccer. Yeah,
that would be incredible, man.
Yeah,
so that was one of the reasons I took him to London. We saw 3 matches out there because he just lives and breathes it. It's just and he's a goalie, so you got to be a little crazy to play goalie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Alex, your son plays in what league?
He plays travel soccer in the EDP league with World Class Premier. So he plays on 2 teams with them. And I mean, we're traveling from sometimes, Bowie to Frederick to, Virginia I mean, it's just all over the place.
Yeah.
You really get to know how big the damn state of Maryland is.
Yeah.
When you start playing travel soccer.
Yeah.
Man. But it's cool because I manage also their club's social media and all their marketing and stuff like that. And so getting to watch, so they have about 20 teams everywhere from like age 6 to age 17. So and boys teams and girls teams. And they're really good coaches, people that hold the kids accountable and, helping raise good young men and women, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. But it's super fun to watch them. And so there's all these opportunities for them to grow and play soccer, and getting to see some of these older kids into, playing in high school and all these other things too is fun. So shout out to my high school, Seneca Valley, just beat Sherwood. And one of the goalie for Seneca, the varsity team, Kofi, he's a goalie for World Class Premier too. So the club has tremendous amount of talent, and we're competing on all levels. So it's fun to watch, man. It's a good sport. Next time I need you to know your nephew.
No, I'm going to send it. I'm going to send it to you because I'm a trash uncle, and all my nieces and nephews know that about me. So,
but you know what? I just touching a little bit on the soccer realm. Imagine if some of these kids that that usually play football or basketball. Imagine if some of these athletes were coming up and playing soccer. I mean, we would have, and that's the problem with youth sports or youth soccer in general in this country. It's like they don't have a good hold on how the sport works, how it should work in terms of development, and they're just worried about, like, at 6 years old winning instead of developing people. So I mean, like at the end of the day, how many tournaments did Messi win when he was 7? I always joke with my son. I'll ask him questions and he's like, how many? I'm like, I don't know. Who cares?
Who cares? Right.
Who cares?
Right.
Nobody knows. He's a real
Right.
stat dude, but he's like, oh, I thought you knew. Like, no, nobody cares. What you need to focus on, and my son is 10. What you need to focus on now is development, learning how to play, getting better at the position, because I think a lot of times what separates, the good guys or girls from the elite ones is if you take them from their team, you can plug them into any other team, and the coach can say, I need you to go do this, and you can play all these different styles, all these different, just like a boxer or a football player. Oh, he plays tight end, he can play receiver, and he can play linebacker, or this kid can do this and this and this, multifaceted. And so if you understand the game on that level, it just ups your chances to go and potentially get a scholarship or do whatever it is. So it's
or date Meg the Stallion.
Right. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah, it's for Alex. It's funny you say that because my son he'll be 9 in November. He plays soccer for Arundel here in Anne Arundel County. I just signed him up for the county team, which they do travel also, but they only do travel within the county. My daughter, who's 7, she plays on a team also. She plays for Clinic 2 under the Arundel League. And I think you made a great point about the thing that's missing from these youth leagues is, in addition to the discipline, which I think is there, but you don't have enough coaches that sign up for these leagues that can commit to like the true, real fundamentals of the game and stuff. So like in the winter, they have a soccer dome right by BWI Airport. They have like an 8-week program where the youth can come in. They have trainers, and they just basically teach footwork, how to kick the ball, little, skills, little things like that, just to help prepare for the upcoming spring season and for the, for the fall season. We just haven't played any games yet this season because of the weather that we've been having here. But you make a great point, man. If they could just, teach those extra set of fundamentals and get the right coaches that can do that, there will be a lot more athletes up and coming that would play soccer.
Right, I agree, and to that point too, we have a program in World Class Premier. It's called Triple T, 10,000 touches, and it's basically just the kids in the training center against the wall practicing short touches, first touches, and those fundamentals. Because to be clear, there's no off season. You know what I mean? Like you can do different things throughout. We have winter leagues, we have winter training. We're lucky enough. I mean, at the Maryland Soccerplex, all the way down in Germantown, but close enough. Yeah, I mean that facility is incredible within itself. So I mean, there's a bunch of different, turf fields, grass fields, and finding stuff like that. I know in Virginia it's more prevalent because they got a lot of money in Northern Virginia, but it feels like there's a soccerplex on every corner. But I mean, here at least we have that one, and there's a couple others in this area too. But yeah, just getting them to always, and even as simple as just everything's online now, just watching tutorials and getting them to practice even inside is very important to the fundamentals. And shout out to the teachers, man, because it's not easy. The teachers that are actually teaching, whatever game, whatever sport, whatever it is, that's hard. I know I wouldn't be able to do that because sometimes you're just more in the mindset of just rooting, but getting out of that realm and really understanding like, hey, it's about development. As a parent, I think is important too. So I get kind of both sides because the marketing and following these teams and then just trying to root for your own kid and the team too. But yeah, it's cool.
Hey, Maestro, we've set another milestone in this podcast. We've had a soccer conversation for 10 minutes long.
Hey man, it's easy to talk about when kids are involved, man. I will say
yes,
that.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I'll give my short soccer story and I'll let you go. We made my daughter in 4th grade. We made our daughter because my younger daughter doesn't want to be active about anything. So we made her play soccer. And when I realized that she had got her hair done and she didn't want to sweat her hair out, I was like, okay. Gotcha. We just got this soccer ain't for you. Just sports ain't for you. And my oldest played basketball, but my youngest, she ain't interested. She is not.
She wasn't here for that. Yeah.
She did people running right past her, just up and down, up and down.
Yeah. That's the thing about soccer, man. You're always on the move. You got to run.
Yeah. She is not interested in running. No matter how much we bought her the soccer shoes, we made her look like she knew what she was doing, and she walked out on there and didn't know and was not interested. Didn't want to practice.
She had the best fit. Yeah, she had the best drip on the field.
Yeah, I be trying to give it up. She was cute or whatever, but she was not trying to play. So I don't know, man.
Hey.
So yeah, man. Hey, once again, man, you know it's love on this side. Let the people know where they can reach you and anything they need, anything you want to plug, sir.
Yeah, man. So always Round by Round Boxing at Round by Round Boxing on Instagram and roundbyroundboxing.com. And then I'm at 301 where I'm from on Instagram, and the soccer plug real quick is World Class Premier Official. That's where you'll see a bunch of videography, photography that I do for that club, and that's kind of where I'm at these days at the Soccerplex or a soccer field near you. doing highlights and all that type of stuff. So still reporting on sports, just on a bunch of different levels. But yeah, always willing to chop it up with you guys. You guys are the best. Love talking boxing and every other sport too. So appreciate you guys for having me on.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. Yes,
no doubt.
sir.
Hey, appreciate you, man, and good luck to them Commanders, man, in the season.
Yes,
all right.
Sir. All right. Yeah, we'll check in. Yeah, we'll check in once Rivera gets fired, Maestro.
Yes, sir. My guy.
All right,
Salute,
fellas. Have a good one.
All right, fam. Salute. All right, folks. Alex Burgos, RBR Boxing, RBRBoxing.com, Round by Round Boxing. You can find him on Twitter and social media and all that good stuff right there, man.
You know how hard it is for me to not call him A-Train?
You know, it's funny because I addressed him by Alex like the whole time throughout this interview, and then when I went to solicit him to come on the podcast, I kind of did the same thing. I was just like, "Hey, Alex, what's good, man?" Like I stayed away from A-Train.
I don't know how to not call him A-Train. I don't know how to. That's why I kept saying sir and shit like that. I don't know how to not call him A-Train. I don't know how to not do it.
Yeah, and I just lied right here on the podcast. I did call him A-Train.
Yeah, that's my man. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know him. I mean, I know this guy. And let me be clear. I am super proud of him, where he's came from. I remember when I was in his mama basement and we was making records. So where he at now, super proud of him, man. That's my guy.
My man going to London to watch fights and stuff. Yeah, he's definitely on another level for certain, man. For certain.
That's my guy right there.
Hey, I just got one more thing.
I was going to say, man, and I'll let you do your one more thing.
What's good?
It's we didn't hit our time.
Yeah, we definitely hit our time. We definitely hit our time.
We got to do picks.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations, Breonna Stewart. Plays for the New York Liberty, won the WNBA's League MVP award. So, congrats to her. Yeah. I actually got the game on right now against the Sun, game 2 in these playoffs. And I do want to give a shout out to everybody that's on Twitter that's covered the league, because I'll admit I didn't watch a lot of games like I wanted to over the season. But props to the Megan Halls and the Jody Newsoms and the Terricas out there that Wayne Coles and of the world that cover the league and are in those locker rooms and asking these questions, because there was a really, really strong debate about who the league MVP should have been. So it was 3 candidates: Breonna Stewart, Alyssa Thomas with the Sun, and Asia Wilson with the Aces. Now right. Asia Wilson, she's a champion.
She's her, yeah.
She's her. Alyssa Thompson had a good year also. Breonna Stewart has had a good year too. Me personally, I'm not
dignified to have that conversation.
No, I'm not trying to make this into a conversation. I'm just gonna say again, I appreciate everybody, making a case for these women, for this award. It should be Asia Wilson, but I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
I can't have an educated conversation about who I feel that should be. So I won't even pretend to engage in something that I know almost nothing about. Mm-hmm. I know the names. I know who's been doing. I know who the names are. But I haven't watched. I haven't watched one game from beginning to end all summer, so I am not educated or informed. I've seen clips, but
the highlights. I've seen highlights, and again,
I've even watched some game like I've seen the Mystics once or twice,
right?
But not from front to back.
Yeah, right. So I got you. I'm just basing it off of the people that I trust on Twitter. That again, they cover the league. They've been in these locker rooms. They go to these games, and I trust their information. And I'll just say, just based off of that info alone, I'll say it's Asia Wilson. But congrats to Breonna Stewart, because she is playing for the hometown team, and so I hope they get it this year. What you got? You got the picks, right? Oh yeah, that's right.
Let's do
the picks. And I don't even have the list up, but I know what the Thursday game is. It's Detroit at the Packers, I think, right?
Detroit at the Packers is Thursday.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just pull it up real quick, or whoever gets it pulled up first.
Well, early on with this game, I'm gonna pick the Packers in this one, and I'm not even sure this is really an upset or not, because I think both teams have been playing kind of the same level of ball. I know there's a lot of hype around the Lions this year, but
deservedly so.
Yeah, absolutely, deservedly so. But I just think that the way Green Bay played, and they came back from 17-0, pretty impressive. But I'm gonna go Green Bay at home on a Thursday.
Okay, you taking Green Bay? I'll take the Lions.
All right, that's a bet. Sunday's games: Falcons versus the Jags in London.
Jags.
Yeah, I don't like Trevor Lawrence the way he playing, man. I'm gonna go Falcons. Give me the upset. Dolphins at the Bills.
Dolphins. It's kind of hard to bet against the Dolphins right now.
Yeah, it is, and I guess it's to your narrative that the Bills ain't making the playoffs, so they would have to drop this game, right, for that to be.
It would help. It would
true.
Certainly help.
It would certainly help, right? I'm gonna take the Buffalo Bills at home.
And by the way, I've seen somebody mess around and said that Matthew Stafford is throwing the ball the best right now so far in this season. Hey, you could throw that shit in the trash. You could throw that take in the trash.
I watched him last night. He did not look all that great.
It is Tua Tagovailoa, if I'm saying his last name right. And
it is Tua, the MVP candidate right now.
Yeah, that's who's throwing the ball best right now.
Yeah.
Just in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
That's wild. That somebody said that. Broncos at the Bears.
I'm going to take the Broncos because if they lose to the Bears, they're in trouble.
Should we call for some heads to roll after this one if they lose this one?
No. Week 7, week 8 is still kind of when I'm like, all right, bro, you didn't do enough. I need a half season sample size before we start making firings, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. I got to go Bears here. I have to.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad one way or the other.
I have to go Bears here, but they've played like the worst team in the league through 3 weeks.
The Bears or the Broncos?
The Bears.
Oh, I'm about to say, yeah, because the Broncos ain't playing. I mean, obviously we fresh off that ass whooping, but yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, it's clear. The Bears have played the worst of everybody, this season. So, and I'll be honest with you, I thought the way the Chiefs was rolling on Sunday, and they saw what Miami did, I thought the Chiefs was about to be like, yo, you gonna get 70? We about to get 70. That's what it looked like it was going at first there.
I never got that energy, but I feel you.
Ravens at the Browns.
Give me the Browns.
I gotta go Ravens here. But I gotta respect what the Browns. They play some ball. They play some pretty good ball through 3 weeks. So
yeah, for sure.
Bengals at the Titans.
Give me the Bengals.
I'll take the Titans.
Okay.
Rams at the Colts.
Give me the Rams.
I'm gonna take the Colts, even though I don't like what they did to my team on Sunday. I'll take the Colts. Bucks at the Saints.
I'll take the Bucks. Derek Carr is out.
He is out. He's week to week, which means he could still come back this week. But who's the backup? Jameis, right?
Is it Jameis? Yeah,
it's Jameis. Yeah. I'll go with the Saints. Here I go again with the black quarterback.
Yep, that's racist.
Commanders at the Eagles.
Eagles.
Give me the Eagles right there.
Man. But it is a division game. But I'm still gonna take the Eagles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't realize this because I knew about 0-3 versus 0-3 with Broncos and Bears, but there's another 0-3 versus another 0-3 this week. Vikings at the Panthers.
Kirk Cousins still healthy, right? I'm gonna take the Vikings.
Yes, he is still healthy.
Andy
Dalton was playing on Sunday, and I don't know what the status of Bryce Young is. But even if Bryce Young is there, I don't think it's enough. I'm gonna take the Vikings there. Steelers at the Texans.
Give me the Pittsburgh motherfucking Steelers.
I'm gonna go upset special here. I'm gonna go Texans.
Of course you would.
I like C.J. Stroud.
Why we number one in the North?
You tied for number one in the North.
Why
but that's
we
cool.
number one in the North?
Okay, you tied for it, but it's cool.
Why we number one in the North?
It's cool. Week 5. Week 5. We'll see. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all week 5.
That's a fact.
Hey, and I'm getting the couch down here on Friday. So week 5. You know what it is. You know what it is.
All day.
All right. Raiders at the Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers too. Even though
they got some injury issues.
They got injury issues and Brandon Staley, and you know what? I can't even complain about him anymore because this is what he's gonna do. He's gonna make those kinds of decisions, and that could cost him games. But
sometimes it don't.
Yeah, so right. Sometimes it don't, but that's not something. I mean, inside your own 20 at the end of the game,
yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Patriots at the Cowboys.
At the Cowboys? Yeah, give me the Cowboys.
I'm gonna take the Cowboys too.
Yeah.
Did you see this little interesting thing that and I don't know if this is true or not, but someone is saying out of the Cowboys that they're worried that Ezekiel Elliott is gonna give them some kind of like intel to the Patriots, which quite frankly, that's what he's supposed to do. Like, why is that like even a?
Why is that even news?
A problem? Yeah, like why is that even an issue? News, a
Yeah.
problem? Yeah,
right.
It's
Let's
crazy.
Let's be very clear about something in that Cardinals Cowboys games.
Mm-hmm.
That coach was the defensive coordinator of the
Eagles. In Philly. Yep.
Yeah, he had some type of intel on that team from playing that team. So I'm not. I just realized that a lot of people talked. I didn't see that being a lot of the conversation. Like, he would know how to play Dak Prescott.
Nope, I agree. I know people point to and prayers to Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
What was it, Achilles or ACL?
ACL.
ACL. Yeah.
Practice.
I tell you one play in that game where he was missed, and it was the Dobbs throw to whoever that was streaking down the right side, wide open, nobody there to touch the dude.
I think that was a coverage play, though. I don't think that was Trayvon Diggs. I think that was a coverage.
You think it was a coverage play? Okay.
Yeah, I think that was a good play call.
Okay. Because I was just thinking, like, damn, that probably would have been Trayvon Diggs right there. And if he was there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, give me the Cowboys over the Patriots. Cardinals at the Niners. I think we both have San Francisco on this one.
Yep.
Sunday night, Chiefs at the Jets. Chiefs. Right? And for real, bro, they're going to have to start flexing these Jet games off of prime time, man.
I agree. 100%.
They got to start flexing these games out, man.
I get that they won't flex the Chiefs.
Right, they won't do that to the Chiefs. No.
Right, but yeah, the Jets. I agree.
They got to start getting these Jets off the TV, man.
I agree.
And then Monday night, you got Seattle at the Giants. I'm going with the Seahawks.
Seattle. Yep.
All right, no doubt. Hey, a quick shout out to Walter Padberg in the YouTube live chat.
What up?
Was in the conversation when we were talking Tyson Fury. He thought Tyson Fury is the best fighter. Appreciate you for dropping in the chat and all that good stuff. He said Tyson Fury is the best fighter, and that's why I was trying to keep going. But I was trying to keep going.
No need to bring it up now. Shout out to him.
I was trying to keep going because I knew you'd be
good.
all in your feelings, but
best fighter about what? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all he said. He just said Tyson Fury, the best fighter. Right. That's all he said.
Sure.
So
maybe he meant in heavyweight, and that's
maybe
that's probably true.
Maybe. But I appreciate your support in these chats for certain. Shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, on the Twitch, also on our Twitter, which you can continue to follow us on the handle at Barbershop SPOR2. The YouTube channel is there. Click the subscribe button. The Facebook page is there. Click the like button. And also, if you got questions, comments, you can reach out to us on email at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. We're on Instagram, too. The Instagram handle is at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. And write us a review, whether you listen to us audio on Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple. The reviews go a long way. Make sure you drop one in the review box. And it's been a great week, man. Always looking forward to these opportunities, man. And got a dope one next week coming out. Love, peace, and happiness to everybody out there. Y'all be safe. Have a great weekend. And as always, mind your damn business.
Drink some damn water.
Oh,
Recording
we
stopped.
got 'em. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left some. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey shot with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.